Hello, my name is Maggie and I'm from the Department of Industrial Design. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that whether the human population explosion will devastate the world or not. There have been so many people on Earth right now. Our numbers have skyrocketed from a billion in 1800 to 2.3 billion in 1940 and 3.7 billion in 1970 and 7.4 billion in 2016. The world population now is 7.4 times that it was in the 17th century. By this kind of speed, the world will soon be not enough for us to live. And what does human population explosion mean for our future? Will there be mass migration and overcrowded megacities covering countries? Or will we fight because of the lack of energy, water, and food? How much chaos and violence will devastate ourselves without mentioning diseases and population? Will human population growth destroy our life and make us only focus on how to sustain the human species? Or is the prophecy just ungrounded panic? Let's find out. So, in the 1960, population growth reached an unprecedented date, which led to apocalyptic prophecies. The poor will procreate endlessly and overrun the developed world. The legend of overpopulation was born, but it turns out high birth rates and the population explosion are not permanent features of some cultures or countries, but rather a part of a four-step process the whole world is going through the demographic transition. Most developed countries have already made the transition and other countries are still doing it right now. So back to the 18th century, a lot of people were born, but lots of them died just as fast due to poor sanitation and diets. So the population hardly grew. Women had between 4 to 6 children, but only 2 of them would reach adulthood. Later on comes the Industrial Revolution. It brings good change in human condition since the Agricultural Revolution. People went from being peasants to workers, and manufactured goods were mass-produced and became widely available. This change not only formed the middle class, but also raised standards of living and healthcare for the poor for working condition. After the second transition stage started, better food supplies, hygiene, and medicine meant less people died at a very young age. It made the UK population double between 1750 and 1850. People used to have a lot of children because few of them would survive to adulthood. After the condition had changed, so fewer babies were conceived and population growth slowed down. Eventually, a balance emerged and fewer people were dying and fewer children were born. So both the death rate and birth rate became stable. This didn't happen only in developed countries. More and more countries went through the 4 stages. First, many births and many deaths due to bad living conditions. Second, better living conditions leading to fewer deaths and a population explosion came out. Third, fewer deaths resulting in fewer births, and population growth came to an end. But if the birth rate have dropped so much, why is the population still growing so fast? It's because that children who was born in the human explosion in the 70s and 80s have kids themselves now, which leads to a spike in overall population. But they were having fewer children on average than their parents. It was 5 children per person 40 years ago, while it is 2.5 right now. So as this generation gets older, and fertility declines further as well, the rate of population growth will keep on slowing. This is true for every country, and actually most of the world's countries have made to the fourth stage. All the countries that are catching up didn't have to start from scratch, and the more support they get, the faster they catch up. This is why programs that help poor nations and bad condition of countries is so important. The simple truth is that it's beneficial to you if the people on the other side of the world also have a good living. So the future of global population growth is actually not an apocalypse prophecy at all. It's a promise. Population growth will come to an end. And as the developed level of the world rises, the number of people of higher education will increase tenfold. Countries who used to be in need will help advance development instead. More and more people is going to mean more people able to advance our species. So it's not a worry that we'll have too much people and make the world a chaotic planet. So thank you for your time listening to my speech. Thanks.